Good evening, everyone. I would like to call the February 13th, 2025 regular meeting of the Moraine City Council to order at 6 o'clock. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Doherty.
Here.
Ms. Marcus.
Here.
Mr. Burchett.
Here.
Mrs. Witt.
Here.
Mayor Murphy.
Here. Now, would everyone please stand and join me in the allegiance? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council has copies of the January 23rd, 2025 special council meeting minutes. Does anyone have any changes or corrections? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as submitted. Council also has copies of the January 23rd, 2025 regular council meeting minutes. Does anyone have any changes or corrections? The minutes are approved as submitted. There are no special presentations, so we'll go into reports. Finance Committee,
No report, thank you.
Finance Director, Acting Director.
Thank
And-
you. In the packet, you will see the January Finance Director report. That's all I have. Thank you.
Committee of the Whole, anything to report?
Just that our last meeting was on January 23rd, and there will be a meeting following this meeting tonight.
City Manager, anything to report?
I have nothing beyond the written report, Mayor, unless there are questions.
Law Director, anything to report?
No, Mayor, thank you.
And I have the report, the statement for the Mayor's Court for the month of December. We had a revenue of $12,163.69 after we have paid all of the funds that we have to pay online and everything. We deposited you have to excuse me because
It's not on there.
it's not on here.
It's not on.
There's no total.
Yeah, it
Okay,
seems to
unless
be-
it's this, the gross revenue was $12,163.69.
No, that's not what was posted in the journal.
I will read it next month when I get the full report. Now, we will go, we will go into our business, which is, Karen, the ordinances.
Ordinance number 2175-25, an ordinance to make supplemental appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Moraine, state of Ohio, for the period January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2025.
This legislation is necessary as more revenue will be needed to cover expenses in the Parks and Recreation Fund and in the Economic Development Fund. Defer to the law director for further instructions.
So thank you, Mrs. Allen. So the body of this ordinance indicates it's being passed as an emergency. However, we need to correct the title of the ordinance to add "and declaring an emergency" to the end of the title. So before we vote on the ordinance itself, I would request a motion and a vote on the amendment to simply add "and declaring an emergency" to the title.
We have a motion.
I'll make the motion to make the amendment as per the law director.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
Ms. Marcus.
Yes.
Mr. Burchett.
Yes.
Mrs. Witt.
Yes.
Mrs. Allen.
Yes.
Mayor Murphy.
Yes. No.
Motion to adopt.
Laura needs to make the motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
Ms. Marcus.
Yes.
Mr. Burchett.
Yes.
Mrs. Witt.
Yes.
Mrs. Allen.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mayor Murphy.
Yes.
Ordinance 217625, an ordinance to make supplemental appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Moraine, state of Ohio, for the period January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2025.
Funds for the Ohio Department of Transportation project for the resurfacing of a portion of State Route 741 were budgeted for 2026. The project has been moved to 2025, and this ordinance allows the funds to be moved to the 2025 budget. Motion to approve.
We're gonna hold off on that motion because the last one was an emergency, so she has to do it as an emergency. We have to vote on it as an emergency.
So you just need Ms. Allen to indicate that she's moving to suspend the rules and adopt it at this meeting, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Need to reread it?
No, we don't need to reread it. We just need to have Ms. Allen make the motion for an emergency adoption, which is to suspend the rules and allow the second reading at the meeting at which it is adopted, which is this meeting.
I'll make a motion that we suspend the rules and, have the second reading at this meeting.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
And then, Mayor, on the second ordinance, which is ordinance 2176-25, I would like to have a motion to amend that, to make the same amendment that we made to the other one, simply to add the words "and declaring an emergency" to the title.
We are only gonna, we're gonna vote on the motion to change it and to move it forward. Roll call, please.
We just need a motion to amend to
I'll
add.
make a motion to amend it.
Okay, don't make them. Roll call, please.
Okay. Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Now we just need a second motion to adopt the ordinance at the meeting at which it was introduced, so there would be no second reading.
Motion to approve.
You've heard the motion. Is there any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Next one.
Item 2177-25, an ordinance amending Moraine Codified Ordinance, Chapter 149, Merit System Commission, to incorporate updated Merit System Commission rules and regulations therein.
Mayor, I have a request to table this particular item. The reason being that there is a rule revision I would like to bring before the Merit System Commission at their next meeting. So it doesn't make sense to me to adopt this, incorporating the rules into the MCO, and then have to come back later and have to do it again. So I'm respectfully requesting that we table this until I can meet with the Merit System Commission.
I'll make a motion that we table 2177-25 per the law director.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Resolutions, Resolution 8123-25, a resolution appointing Karen Powell to the position of Clerk of Council.
This legislation appoints Karen Powell as the new clerk of council. I'll make a motion to approve.
You've heard the motion. Is there any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
And Mayor, I'd just like to go ahead and give the oath if we could.
The Constitution.
And will obey the laws of the United States
And will obey the laws of the United States.
and of the state of Ohio.
And of the state of Ohio.
That I will and
Resolution 812725, a resolution authorizing the city of Moraine to accept the proposal of Sourcewell, formerly NJPA, for the purchase of one 2028 E1 Cyclone M100 aerial ladder quint at a total cost of $1,705,095.
This resolution approves the purchase of a 2028 E1 aerial ladder quint. This purchase is an approved 2025 item, and the estimated delivery date is 2028. Motion to approve?
You've heard the motion. Is there any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Resolution 8128-25, a resolution declaring the items listed on the attached 2025 list to be surplus and no longer needed for municipal purposes, and authorizing the city manager to dispose of such items through GovDeals auction or donation to a nonprofit organization or through a trade-in program.
These items are deemed no longer usable by the city and will be disposed of appropriately as referenced in the legislation. Motion to approve.
You've heard the motion. Is there any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes. We have, is there anyone that wants to appear before council?
I have none listed.
Okay, we'll go into any other business. If any of the staff have a report, please step up to the podium. Now we will go into others. City manager, anything further to report?
Nothing further, Mayor. Thank you.
Law director, anything further to report?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Acting finance director, anything further to report?
I have nothing additional, thank you.
Clerk of council, anything to report?
Nothing additional, thank you very much.
Miss Allen, anything to report?
Yes, I'd like to thank Chris and his guys for keeping the streets drivable in that condition we had some time ago. You could drive to other cities and they wouldn't be nearly as good as Moraine. And also, I'd like to send condolences out to the family of Helen Lell. She was 103 years old. She passed away. She was a dear friend. I've known her since the 80s. That's it.
Okay. Ms. Marcus, anything to report?
I have a question for the city manager. Lamb Road, do we know anything about when Miami Township would be surfacing that? That is awful rough.
So Chris Snyder is their township administrator. I know him pretty well, so I'll reach out to him and ask. We haven't been informed, but I can ask when it's on their, they obviously budget similar to we do, and they have a capital budget, so I could ask Chris if it's, been slated for this year or next year. So,
We've been kind of assuming that they were waiting for the construction of the school
yeah,
to be done so it wouldn't get torn up again.
right.
But that's complete now, and I was hoping they would get that done pretty soon.
I'll follow up with Chris, and then I'll circle back, and I'll let all of council know.
Okay, thank you. That's
You're
all I
welcome.
have.
Ms. Witt?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Mr. Miller, anything to report?
I just offer condolences to the family of Lieutenant Larry Winters, who was a longtime fire lieutenant for our fire division. He passed away in Florida recently. That's all.
Mr. Doherty?
Just that we had another Master Parks Plan steering committee this past Thursday. Things are coming along pretty well, and we're excited. We have one more meeting at the beginning of April, and then we'll be presenting it to council.
Mr. Burchett?
All I have is February 6th, I attended the monthly board meeting of the MVRPC. That's all I have, thank you.
And all I have is, I would also make condolences to Mr. Winters. My daughter and his daughter went to school together, and that was a bad time to hear. I have nothing further. I would like to thank the Miami Valley Cable Council for this meeting tonight. and all future rebroadcast. And then the council meeting is going to be adjourned at 6:15.